What's up, guys? My name is Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com. Here's Miss Spidey, my Rosea, who has been laying in the same position for a while now, maybe not moving today. Anyway, today I want to talk to you on Tarantula Tuesday about the nutrition involved with tarantula feeders. I do not see tons of information on this topic, so I'm hoping that this will be helpful to you, especially as I've had to rethink my own tarantula's nutrition. And so learning more about this has been very useful in helping me keep my tarantulas healthy, so I hope that it is helpful for you. So I have a Chilean rosehair, and that is a species that is absolutely famous, unfortunately, for these crazy fasting periods. When I would give Spidey a diet of superworms, she would regularly go over a year without eating, even if she wasn't getting ready for a molt. And she was also very plump. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but Spidey is a bodacious girl, even when she's not eating. She has always been very full-bodied and healthy looking. But somebody did point out to me many years ago that the superworms might have actually been contributing to her irregular appetite. They advised me that worms were very fatty and that I might have more luck with her appetite and regulating it if I either switched to more higher protein bugs like crickets or roaches. So crickets were out of the question because Spidey is far too slow and clumsy for that. She is an older girl. So roaches were the next option. And it actually worked out really well because not only did she really like the roaches, but her eating habits actually became a lot better. For the first time in years, Spidey was actually eating on a somewhat regular basis for over 6 months, which is very good for her. And that was something she had never done before when I had her on worms. So this actually made me think quite a bit about the nutrition of feeders and what actually are the nutrients of the bugs that we're giving our tarantulas. And we may all have our preferences. It's really about finding something that works for our spiders and us, because I know we all live in different areas of the world. Certain feeders may not be available to you. You may also have your own preferences. I personally like the roaches not only because it seems to be the best food that works for Spidey, but also because they don't smell, they're very clean, and they live forever, which were all things that I didn't find with the crickets and superworms. I also really like the roaches because they reproduce pretty quickly, and so it's just been more convenient for me to have my own little colony that lasts forever, so that when Spidey does go through these fasting periods, I don't have creatures dying in my house because she's not eating them fast enough. So it was pretty easy for me to keep the roaches and keep a supply, which is why I also like them. So if you're interested in rethinking your tarantula's nutrition, I found a very helpful chart on dubiaroaches.com, which I'm going to post and also link to in the description in the blog post. It really does actually give a whole list of feeders and their fiber content. I don't even know if tarantulas need fiber like that, but it gives the fat content, the carbohydrate content, the protein content. I think there's certain vitamins or something that it gives. So yeah, great chart. And so as you can see in this chart, the superworms have a whopping 17% fat content, and the roaches only have a little bit over 7%. And the roaches are also higher in protein. Crickets are also really low in fat compared to the worms. Like I said, I don't really know how important fiber is for tarantulas, but that could also be potentially interesting information for you. I don't think you have to go overboard and analyze the nutrition of your feeders. I think as long as you're giving your tarantulas a variety of feeders, or at least not relying solely on the fattier feeders, I think that your tarantula is going to be fine. Make sure that the feeders that you do give them are healthy. They're not sick feeders. They don't look diseased. You're feeding the feeders good food and nutritional food so that they're strong and those nutrients go into your spider. That's just my experience with rethinking the nutrition of my tarantula's food. I just have found better results with her on the roaches and not giving her so many worms. Maybe every now and then I will give her a worm for a treat in the future. I have not in many years, just because the worms never lasted very long for me. They would always die in like 2 weeks. So in the event that she was fasting, I wouldn't want to go out and buy worms and then not be able to feed her. And I also am not very interested in worms because her tank has a lot of things in it now and a lot of potential hiding places for the worms if they wanted to dig. And I am not about to mess up this tank. So the roaches are very doable for me and Spidey at this point in our lives. But I would highly suggest just looking at that chart, seeing what feeders you are giving your tarantulas and how they compare on the nutritional scale of things. And yeah, if you guys have any helpful tips about tarantulas and nutrition, please feel free to leave a comment or a tip. I think that this is kind of like an understudied part of the tarantula keeping hobby, and there's not much information about it. So I think that if you want to share something that you know of, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who would really appreciate that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week for Tarantula Tuesday.